Thank you. That's my memory over there. Everyone thank my memory. And so I went and met Terry, and he sat me down and he said, so, do you want to be a star? And I said, no, not really. And he said, okay. I said, but I'll act in your movie. So I got to go, and so my first day, first film, for only scene, first day, and it's Jeff Bridges and Mercedes Ruehl, who's a great actress. And Jeff Bridges turned around, right this far away from me, and he took off his t-shirt. That was all he had on, his t-shirt and his pants. And he turned and handed it to me and said, will you hold this? And I was like, I'm gonna do the movies for the rest of my life. I'm never leaving film.
What a great first experience.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely. So what other leading men have you got to work with that you enjoyed?
Let's see, so it went from that to a Michael J. Fox movie to Soap Dish, which if you haven't seen that, it's the most underrated film. I had a very small part. I was supposed to be there for 2 days, and the director, Michael Hoffman, just kept putting, if you watch Soap Dish, which is Sally Field, who's a genius, Kathy Moriarty, Kevin Kline, Robert Downey Jr., Terry Hatcher, Whoopi Goldberg, Carrie Fisher, it's like...
What a cast.
I mean, what a cast. I was supposed to be there for 2 days, and the director kept me for, I think, 2 months. And I would say, Michael, I'm out of line, I don't have any lines, so if you watch Soap Dish, you'll see me. I do spit takes, I faint, I do anything you can do without a line, and it was really so much fun. So Soap Dish, and then I think, I was watching Entertainment Tonight. Do you know that?
Of course.
And there was a host on it called Mary Hart.
Yes, the famous Mary Hart.
Yes, and I was in San Francisco doing the Kathy and Mo show, which I told you about earlier. And Entertainment Tonight came on, and Mary, I had an audition the next day for some movie that needed singing nuns. And I was like, well, I'm here in San Francisco, so I could just go to LA, you know, as I lived in New York. So I'm thinking, what's my character gonna be? And I'm watching Mary Hart do a piece on Soap Dish, which I was in, and she showed a clip, and then she turned around and she said, oh, Sally Field, you gotta love her. And I was like, oh, that's my nun.
That was your inspiration?
Yes, that was my inspiration. So
Did you ever get to tell her that?
I haven't, she heard about it, and that's for the time when someone had watched her and gone into a seizure from her voice.
Yeah, I remember that.
So she said, she heard about it and she said, well, I hope it didn't give her a seizure. It was really fun. But I owe you, Mary Hart, wherever you are. So yeah, I went in the next day and I just did, oh, I love everything, I really do. And there you are.
The girl was pure sunshine.
Pure sunshine.
Pure sunshine, I love it. So we have to obviously talk about something that just had a huge anniversary. A little movie called Hocus Pocus. You guys have seen it a few times? I mean, it's on every single day now in Freeform, and it's now become the new Christmas story, because on Halloween, they're going to show it 24 hours.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I get 8 cents every time they show it, so that would be great.
Keep going, right? Tell us the experience of working with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Well, since I was about 15 years old, I was a sycophant, crazy fan of Bette Midler's. I would make everyone in my high school do Bette Midler reviews. They were like, who's Bette Midler? I dressed up, I snuck backstage once to the Greek Bowl. I ran on top of this mountain, jumped onto the stage, ran past guards into the dressing rooms, opening every door while the guards were after me, until I found Bette, and I just stood there and said like, I love you. And then the guards came and dragged me away. And then once I worked at a singing telegram company. Do you guys remember singing telegrams?
Yeah, they still exist.
In the 80s, yes. And I used to do a big white furry bunny. So I went to the Greek Theater, and I got backstage because I said, I have a singing telegram for Bette Midler. What they didn't know was it was just from me. And so they finally let me back after an hour, and I got to her dressing room and I sang her this telegram, and I walked back to where the cars were and I literally fainted. And then 10 years later, after I had done a couple films, me and my friends were all in New York in line to see a movie she did called Beaches. And in Beaches, Bette played an actress who made a living as a big, white, furry, singing telegram bunny. That was me! That was me! She stole my bunny! It was like the moment of my life. So you can imagine being such a huge fan and getting the call from the head of Disney at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, and he said, "Hey Kathy, I'm calling to see if you want to be in a movie called Hocus Pocus playing Bette Midler's sister." I said no. No, of course I said yes.
Amazing. I can't imagine the fun that you guys had on the set.
It was so much fun. I mean, it was, for the first couple of months, you know, I tried to just act. She had no idea I had had this 20-year crazy relationship with her in my head. So I would try to act cool, and we'd be on set, Sarah and I, and Bette would just start humming a song, you know, like, you know, boogie woogie big boy, and be like we tried to act so cool. But soon she figured out that I was the lady who sang the singing telegram and the one who got drugged backstage.
Did she remember the singing telegram?
And she got really twirly-eyed and scared that she had to like be with me for the next 5 months.
Did you have any idea while you guys were filming that it would turn into this huge phenomenon that's become today?
It's a good question. No. You know, when you're making a movie, I've done, I think, I don't know, like 25 or 30 films. You never know. You think, this is great, and then nobody ever hears from it again. Or you think, wow, this is like long and kind of difficult, or you never really know. And Hocus Pocus, like, you can't really know. We had a really bad opening box office. We were 4th, last. So
it was in the middle of the summer, wasn't it?
It was in the middle of the summer, and it was a flop, they said. But you don't really pay attention. You just do it and go on your way. But then slowly it got on TV, and then we had fans, and they became parents, and they showed it to their kids, and then their kids showed it to their kids. So, yeah, and so it, from television, the Disney Channel, it just had a cult following, which we were delighted by, surprised.
And it continues on today. And you just had the huge spectacular on Freeform, the big celebration in California.
It was so fun.
Lots of people coming out with costumes. Does it ever floor you to see people dressed as your other characters as well?
Well, I mean, the only one thing I really see, other than Bette stealing my bunny, was is Mary. They don't really dress as the nun very much, unless you're a real nun, and can't really tell. But no, yeah, this is a really a phenomenon.
Yeah, it's very cool. We got a couple of other sisters in the audience. They're just fun characters to play, and I think everybody can... Sisters! Have a good time with it. We're going to open the floor for questions. If you guys want to start lining up right over here at this microphone, come on over. We're going to start doing that in just a few. So you obviously have a huge background with voice acting as well.
I do. I love voice acting, you guys. You know why? No hair, no makeup, no wardrobe, no line memorizing, no flying out of the country. It's the best job ever.
And doing your pajamas.
Oh, I did it in my pajamas, and I had just had my daughter, so I got to bring her for every single session. I did a TV show called King of the Hill. It's a cartoon. It's one of my favorite jobs ever. The writing was phenomenal.
Yes. That's why I was on for so long.
Yeah, thank you. Those writers were so great, and they were very collaborative. They let us come up with our voices, and a lot of the lines we got to influence, and I loved Peggy.
Peggy was a strong woman. I appreciate Peggy.
Yeah, me too.
And she had a funny little boy that she just loved to pieces and let him be himself. I love that.
Yeah.